So a great quote that really puts a person's time on earth in perspective for me is the following. Today is the oldest you are and the youngest you'll ever be. When I first heard this around 10 years ago, it immediately stuck with me. And it's unfortunate because at any time, this could all be over. 'Tis his life. Now let's apply that to the life of a professional speaker. Just how much time do you think you have to be productive, in demand, and truly prospering? This question can be answered in many ways and it can vary from person to person. But what's for certain is that your work ethic and pure willpower will determine a lot. Your intent on taking advantage of the moment and really being a valuable asset when given the opportunity will ensure that you're making the most use of your time. Because you should never forget, your opportunity can be given and taken away for any number of reasons at any given time. And that really goes for anybody. So that was my mini deep dive on life. Now let me talk specifically about the topic in relation to professional speaking. Whenever you sign on the dotted line, realize that when you finally make it to the stage, you only have a certain amount of time to get your point across. For example, for a celebrity who happens to be given a keynote, it could very well be an hour-long talk, but people pay a lot to see this person, and a lot of times they don't even have to be a great or polished speaker. Their notoriety can carry them and their experiences can make for some great content. An hour can feel like a long time to hear a person speak, but people of this caliber usually make it worth it. Now, on the other hand, 45 minutes is the most common time limit for guest speakers at a conference. It allows you to introduce an idea, teach a lesson, and maybe even get the audience involved if you choose, and then ultimately leave your audience with actionable items. Those 45 minutes can go fast or real slow. It all depends, once again, on how you prepared and how you perform in the moment in combination with the amount of practice you put in before your presentation day. No matter how successful you are, you should always want to make the most of your audience's time. You don't have all day to get your point across. That's why it's key to outline how you want to go about delivering your content. Your basic introduction, 3 main points, and conclusion could work for anybody, but what about those examples you're thinking about using? How can your audience visualize the information that you're giving them? Are your transitions from one point to another seamless, or does it seem like you're just randomly bouncing around? Do you have a specific story that you want to use for the backdrop of your talk? It can be a lot to think about, and once again, your 45 minutes can be just right, or every minute can dwindle away without ever really getting your point across. When outlining, don't just write down different parts of your speech. Put a maximum time limit on it as well. That way you know exactly how long at max you have to make your point known. Similar to writing down your regular everyday goals. It's always good to give yourself a time frame to achieve them. If you simply write down points and goals, it's easy to trick yourself into thinking that you have forever to achieve them. Within the speaking industry, you realize that if you can be efficient, people will want to work with you. From the initial vetting process to the time you have on stage, efficiency is one of the main ways you can make everyone's life easier, especially yours. Take every minute you're given to speak seriously. Always time yourself in practicing so you know exactly how to deliver your content in a moment. Having to keep an eye on a timer as well as presenting will take some time getting used to, and it can be intimidating at first. But you'll rarely be given free range to talk for however long you want. And to be honest, you shouldn't want to talk for forever because it's easy to get off track. Don't be careless with the time you're given, because when you truly think about it, it's an absolute honor to be a professional public speaker. To have people willingly listen to you for upwards of an hour long is truly something that I think many of us will never fully appreciate. To have an individual be inspired by your words is a feeling that's truly irreplaceable. With that being said, how will you ultimately handle this immense responsibility? If you found this tip useful, please like it and share it. Comment on it as well and let me know what you think. Until next Monday, my name is Julian Leonard and this tip was brought to you by the J. Leonard Group.